cheapy boo, here for you. We've got no doggy mascot, no pretty teenage girls, no stoner friends, not even a jock and an ascot.
Oh yes, now I see the problem. Yeah, now I'm pretty sure. There's just a touch too much Hanakatapatistan in it. That's the whole problem. You know what they say about 20/20 hindsight? Yeah. If I had 20/20 hindsight, I'd go back and eliminate 20/20 altogether. Oh, zoinks! Hey gang, like it's time for Creepy Cheapies with Dr. Lady. Yeah, I'm Robert Louis Stevenson, and today's mask is... Hang on to your safety belts in the van, kids, because today's mask is the very scary Mr. Hyde! What? Now some of you are thinking, what? That's not a Mr. Hyde mask. He got the name wrong. He's got his masks mixed up. Some of you are thinking, that doesn't look like Mr. Hyde. One of you is thinking, that looks like Dr. Lady spilled some green paint on himself. Well, I think that was just rude and uncalled for on your part, and you owe me an apology for that thought. Anyway, if, however, you grew up on Scooby-Doo cartoons, specifically Scooby-Doo Where Are You? From the circa 1970, I believe 1970 season of Scooby-Doo, you may remember one called Nowhere to Hide, H-Y-D-E, and this was indeed the Mr. Hyde in that episode. And it took a long time for such a fun mask to enter the realm of collectibles, but not until the year 2020, that's right, did the folks at Trick or Treat Studios pick up the gauntlet on this one and bring you this excellent likeness of the Scooby-Doo Hyde. Now, the Scooby-Doo Hyde, of course, is very different from the traditional movie versions. Generally, Mr. Hyde is sort of a, well, he has sort of a almost throwback Neanderthal ape-man de-evolutionalized sort of, you know, sort of a primitive ancestor of man, primitive quality about him. But no, on the cartoon, okay, on Scooby-Doo, he was green and extremely crazy with these big crazy eyes that I love and that will certainly scare the small children in your household. Crazy eyes like that. And wearing a hat and a big trench coat. And well, it was a fun cartoon if you're in the right frame of mind for that sort of thing. As far as the actual story, the serious story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, my favorite version, movie-wise, is certainly the 1932 adaptation from Paramount starring Frederick March as both Jekyll and Hyde. But we're not talking about him, we're talking about this great mask sculpted by Kyle Glenn Cross for the folks at Trick or Treat, and again released in 2020. And I have not done anything to this one. Now, I did get an early copy. I don't know if they all look this great, but they should be pretty close. This has a super nice paint job. It's got gloss on the tongue. I don't know if you noticed in the close-up there, his eyes and tongue are shiny and wet looking, and his teeth are a little bit shiny and wet looking. Really adds to the overall effectiveness of it. The realism and the cartoony fun aspect of it are both enhanced by the addition of the glossy stuff. And again, I did not do that. This is right out of the bag from Trick or Treat. And, you know, with it being a cartoon character mask, they could have gotten away with, you know, just having sculpted hair on there and molded in, and it would have been easier to make these and quicker and cheaper to turn them out. And they could have justified it saying that, you know, it's based on a two-dimensional form of media, the animated cartoon, to begin with, and hey, you sculpt it, it's fine. But I love it that they actually went the extra mile. Okay, maybe it wasn't a whole mile, the extra few hundred yards anyway, to put actual hair on him. He's got a strip of fur running around the back, which makes it a nicely uncomfortable combination of, is it a goofy cartoon or is it something kind of nightmarish and weird and potentially really threatening? You can't be sure, and I love that about it. I love the fact that it's so enthusiastic, it's so crazy, he's having so much fun. he would be so great to jump out at people at a haunted house, wouldn't he? Now, the eye holes are these, the pupils. The pupils are sort of drilled out, which means vision isn't great. Now, if I had to wear this at a haunted house, I don't know that there are any great places to cut additional eye slits in it. Maybe up here in the underneath the brim of his hat, but you'd have to be very careful because you don't want to make them too big and then have the mask start sagging because you've got great giant holes and disconnecting the face from the hat. So you'd have to be careful. But if you're not going to be wearing it, this would be a wonderful thing to put on one of those animated bodies that sort of jumps up or pops out or something. Wouldn't imagine a you know, like a mannequin body that's on a spring-loaded, motorized sort of contraption, and he comes out and boing, you know, like pops up. That would be really cool. All right, maybe I have a strange idea of what's really cool, but so does the strange Mr. Hyde from The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, as told on Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? In 1970. What a great, fun, cool mask from Trick or Treat and Kyle Glencross. And, well, you keep on driving around abandoned places late at night to solve ghostly mysteries. Until next time, and I'll just be here with my old friend Mr. Hyde trying to cure the common clod.